Okay, guys. All right, so we're going to do a quick video about how to do a sample flight itinerary. Okay, so first off, I need to decide what plane this is going to be. So I'm just going to say this is going to be the Embraer. Sorry, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Okay, so this is the Embraer. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and write that this is 955 kilometers per hour. Okay. Now, so you're going to have to choose a trip one, and I'm just going to pick like the first one I see. I don't know if this is a good trip or a bad trip or what, okay? But I'm going to go CLT to LAX, okay? Now I'm going to have to go to my distance grid and figure out how far that is. It happens to be the first one listed in distance information, so I know that my trip distance is 3408 kilometers. Okay, now trip time is where I need to do some calculations because I'm not sure exactly how fast it's going to go. So I know that time is equal to, if you look up on the board, distance over velocity. So I know my distance is 3408 and my velocity is 955. Okay. So I've got my phone calculator out here. I'll do that while you guys are waiting. So 3408 divided by 955 is 3.56. Okay, so that's 3.57. So that's 3.57 hours. Now this needs hours and minutes. So I got to change my 3.57 hours. So I know it's going to be 3 hours, but I got to make this into minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 57 divided by 60. And no, that's not right. Oh my gosh. What kind of idiot am I? 0.57 times 60. All right, so I'm just going to take my 0.5. Sorry, I've got my calculator here, times 60. All right, so I've got 3 hours and 42 minutes. And just go ahead and round to the whole minute, okay? So this is actually 42, so it's 3 hours and 42 minutes. And I'll put that. Sorry, it's a good idea for you guys to have a piece of scratch paper out, by the way. Okay, so I've got 3 hours and 42 minutes. Okay, now demand before and after the flight. Now, this is where you're going to have to go to your demand grid. All right, so I've got the demand grid in here. So we said this was Charlotte to LAX, so my demand is 168. Okay, so let's go up here. Now my demand is 168 before. Now the problem here, okay, is that my Embraer capacity is only 50 passengers, okay? So I can only take 168 of those, or I can only take 50 of those 168. So my demand after the flight would be 168, whoops, that doesn't look right. It'd be 168 minus the 50 that I can carry, and so that's going to make 118. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down here to my distance grid. Come here. And I'm going to say, okay, let's do this. I'm going to say now this is down to 118 because I've used up some of them, okay? If you're going to fly one route a bunch, I would keep a list on a separate paper of that specific route and how many people are left. All right, now my departure time, it's my first flight of the day, so we said I can leave at 5 a.m., right? Now it's going to take 3 hours and 42 minutes, so I can't arrive until 8:42 a.m., or 3 hours and 42 minutes later. So that's just this plus that. Okay, fuel cost. Now we know that fuel costs, let's see, for the Embraer it's $3.53 per kilometer. Okay, so I'm going to work it out over here. So for the Embraer it's $3.53, so $3.53 times 3408 I'm going to do that on my calculator here. All right, so 353 times 3408. Ooh, that doesn't work. 3.53 times 3408. $12,030.24. Now, a single ticket price, I know that my ticket structure is 150 plus 6 cents per kilometer, so 0.06 times 3408. So let's do that. Let's go 0.06 times 3408 is 204.48, and then I add 150 to get 3. All right, so this is 150 plus 204.48. So my total price is 354.48. Okay, so total trip profit is going to be this number multiplied by the passengers and then subtract that. So watch. I'm going to take 354.48 and multiply that times 50. So I'm going to get 17,724. Now I have to subtract 12,030.24, and I end up with $5,693.76. So that is how much I make total for this trip. Okay, so there is one full trip. Obviously, you're going to need some scratch paper, okay, because I don't want to have, like, you're not going to have room to put all those notes on the sides. Now, I'll tell you this, okay, your next, I'm not going to do a whole next trip, but your next trip needs to start at LAX because that's where you finished before, and your departure time must be 1 full hour after that. So you can't depart until 9:42 a.m., okay? And you can pick whatever your next flight is going to be. Okay, so there is one time through. If you need help with this, raise your hand because I know it can be a difficult thing.